What went into the decision in regards to you joining the Lakers?
First off, thank you guys. Thanks for having me on. Really, just for me, is being able to get back into that mode of being on a big stage, making an impact and helping the team win. And that's for me. That was here, and everybody that had a part in it. My agent, my supporting staff, my family, the Lakers and their whole staff, and everybody just the welcoming and open arms, and that was it. Being able knowing that coming here that you're going to be on a big stage and you're going to have that opportunity to show what you got.
Man, Marcus, I am so glad you just said that, because we were having this conversation yesterday, and when we look at the games that you played in Boston, like the number of games you were playing versus the number of games that you were playing in the last couple of years in Memphis and Washington, my theory was that perhaps besides just injuries, when you're not in a championship mode like you were in Boston, maybe sometimes you just find yourself not playing as much. What is your answer for why you've played so many fewer games over the last 2 seasons?
For me, mainly was injuries. Definitely injuries, but you could kind of say that. When you're programmed to be at the top of the top level and playing at the highest level, when that kind of goes, this is like you kind of lost. You're trying to figure it out, and you're trying to find a way to get back there and whatever that is without losing yourself. So it kind of played a part, but definitely the injuries.
Yeah, and look, you joined a Memphis team at the time. You didn't realize they were going to also be injured so badly, right? And they ended up, not only did you get hurt, but Ja was suspended, then Bane gets hurt. Like, a lot of guys on that team got hurt. It just kind of the season went sideways, including with you there. And then Washington, Marcus, we know this. Sometimes organizations have a direction they want to go in, and there's clearly a youth movement there. Having you there, I'm sure was good for a veteran presence, but they have a different plan in a place like Washington.
Oh, definitely, and it's understandable. People forget that it is a business first, and you have to understand that. So I understood it. They were, everybody was top of the class, the whole organization. They understood. I understood the game plan and what they were expecting. Yeah. They definitely want to go younger. They have a lot of young guys who are very talented, and just to be able to have my presence there as a vet. To kind of get my joy back, and to give my knowledge to this young fella. So sometimes this is how it goes.
Yep, for sure. And now let me ask you this. How much or how instrumental was Luka in recruiting you over here?
He's big time. The fact that, a player of his caliber, checking in, and trying to see, what he can and how I can get over here to join, him and LeBron and everybody else on this Lakers team to come over here and, help do something, make an impact, to do something great. We all have our eye on one thing, and that's to try to win the championship. So that's the goal. And I think that's, everybody knows as a fan, as a player, we understand that we play this game to win championships.
So, Marcus, you've already spoken to Luka, as George points out. He's part of the recruiting process. How about LeBron? Have you spoken to LeBron pre-signing or post-signing?
I have not talked to LeBron yet. LeBron's a busy man. I'm going to talk to him when he got time.
There you go. Fair enough. So let me ask you about just playing with a guy like Luka. You've played with a lot of different guys who are fantastic basketball players. When you were a former Defensive Player of the Year. When you were guarding him, what was that challenge like? Because now being his teammate, I would imagine things will be a little easier on you, despite the fact there are a lot of guys in this league that are tough covers. What was it like trying to guard him?
Oh, man. He was a magician, literally. The Luka magic was real. We were game plan for him. You would get yourself ready. You would go look at the film, and he would come up with something new or do something that you already knew was coming, and you still couldn't stop it. So to be on the other end of that is definitely, a relief. And I know that, for me, all I got to do is, be able to do my part to help Luka and help this team.
Marcus, how healthy are you right now? Because you talked about your injury history. And how confident are you that you can get back to being that high-level player that you were when you took off from Boston?
Yeah, if I have to get a percentage, I would say I'm a high 90s. I've been dealing with the finger. Everybody knows I've been dealing with this finger injury, but I've been cleared to get back to basketball activities, and I've been in the gym working, and I'm excited to go. So we'll see.
And then as far as just, getting back to what George said, being a defensive player there, because that's what the Lakers desperately need, is they need toughness and defense. And that's obviously why they come after a player like yourself. Can you be that guy that you were just a couple seasons ago?
Definitely. Just need the opportunity to show it.
Marcus, for you, what is the area, though, of your game after all these years that, because we know defensively you're great at hitting timely shots. What is an area that you feel like in this time off you said, I'm going to look at my game despite the injury, and I want to focus on this part of my game? And that could be something on the floor, off the floor. What have you been focusing on to make yourself an even better version of the great version of Marcus Smart that we know?
Just taking care of my body even better, more consistently, and just making sure I'm in the best shape of my life that I could be in.
Marcus, when you go to a convenience store and you decide you're going to buy a bottle of water, do you always buy Smart Water?
No, I do not always buy Smart Water, but I should.
I mean, it's just something to think about,
should
right?
Be branded. Honestly, they should have made you their pitch man. That's absolutely the fact that they haven't done that. We need to make that happen for you.
We need to talk to somebody, right?
Well, I mean, now that you're in L.A., I mean, listen, it's a whole new world out here in L.A., So, I mean, you should be the Smart Water guy.
I agree. We're going to see if we can make that happen.
Hey,
right, beautiful.
Obviously, anybody who's an NBA fan knows what you've brought to the table. But if you were just kind of meeting a Laker fan who, let's just say, hadn't seen a ton of Boston games in your time there or anywhere else that you've been, like, what is it that you bring to the table beyond defense, which we know? Like, what are some of the intangibles that you will bring to a squad that has championship aspirations, Marcus?
Oh, man. I guess I would have to say, if you haven't seen me or whatever, just a regular fan who hasn't really seen much basketball, we know my defense, but my hustle, my leadership, I'm very vocal. My ability to impact the game and change the game in multitude of ways, not just my defense, and just the way that I leave it all out there every single play.
Is that something that is, when you're a fourth kid, when you have three older brothers growing up, I'm wondering, like, when you're the little baby and you got all these older brothers, tell us, I mean, like, as a kid, were they beating up on you? Were they beating you down on the court? I mean, how does somebody get here when you've got three older brothers?
Yeah, you go through a lot of adversity. But yeah, it was a lot of ass kicking. Excuse my French. But it was. I was always the last one to get in the shower in the bathroom. I actually didn't have a bed until my freshman year of college because I didn't have a room to sleep in because I was the youngest. So you definitely have to figure out how to make your voice heard when you're the youngest and stand up for yourself.
Well, Marcus, look, I've been covering the NBA for a long, long time, and that explains a lot, okay, about your style of play because you don't leave any stone unturned. You are going to make every moment out there count. So I'm sure it started at a very early age then, if that's the case.
Definitely.
No doubt. Marcus, what about JJ? Have you had a chance to talk to him in regards to what the expectation is, especially as you're still coming back from this injury? I know we got a long time before basketball, but it will be here before you know it. Just any thoughts on the conversations you may have had with JJ at this point?
Yeah, JJ just wants me to be me, the person that I was in Boston, the person that he played against and had me chasing around when he was on the court playing. So that's all he asked of me, and I think I could do that to the best of my ability with the best of them because, like I said, I have a chip on my shoulder and I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Hey, how does a kid from Texas leave the state of Texas and go to Oklahoma State? I know it's a long time ago, but I'm just curious, how'd they get you out of there?
Some things just didn't go right. Just because you're from Texas don't necessarily mean that's where you belong, and that's just not where God had me being. Oklahoma State was where it was at.
Let me ask you one more about JJ. We asked you about guarding Luka. What was it like having to chase JJ's ass around the floor all the time? I mean, that guy tired you out running around screens back in the day, I'm sure.
No, definitely. Gordon, JJ, you definitely got your cardio, and that's what I like. I got my extra cardio, Gordon, JJ, so I couldn't be mad.
I told him not too long ago. I said, listen, if you guys do have some injury issues and you need some shooters, I think he could still do player coach, Marcus.
Right? All you got to do is run around, catch and shoot. That's it. That's all we need you to do.
I know you got Luka and LeBron and you out there making passes to him. He can make a couple shots still, I think.
Make a couple shots, right?
Yeah. Marcus, thank you so much, man. Cap, did you have one more? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just curious. Like when now that you're going to be in LA, is there something that about LA, about Southern California, about the lifestyle that you want to live?
No, not really. And at this moment, I'm just focused on my family and basketball.
I like to hear that focus.
He's all ball, man.
I like to hear focus.
This dude out there is going to leave it all on the floor.
Yeah.
Laker fans are going to be ecstatic to have him on their side for a change. Marcus, an absolute pleasure, man.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to L.A. We'll talk to you soon, and hopefully we'll chat more during the season.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, dog.
There he is, Marcus Smart.
I like him.
You like him?
You know why I like him?
Yeah.
Because the very first thing he said when he came on the air was,
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, he's a very nice man.
Very, very nice guy.
Yeah.
Very pleasant guy. I am going to work for him immediately.
It's not pleasant to be guarded by him, but he's a very pleasant man, yes.
People in our live YouTube chat right now, George, they thought that the smart water question was solid, but then they started hitting us up with other things. Like, for example, maybe he becomes a spokesperson for a smart television.
Right.
Hi, I'm Marcus Smart. And do you have a smart TV? Well, it's time to get smart. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things you can do.
You're doing too much now. You made everybody laugh with the smart water comment. It was very funny.
Thank you.
But now you're trying to do too much with it.
Well, no, I'm
in the YouTube chat. I don't see any suggestions.
Oh,
of that.
go back up. There was.
We also pulled a.
You're making it up.
No, not really.
Yeah, we got pulled Marcus Smart's no, not really for you, Cappy, because it was good.
Oh, yeah, no, not really.
Yeah, he shut you down on that.
Not really. No, I don't have any interest in Hollywood. I don't have any interest in Beverly Hills.
That was
not really.
That was one of those where, like, again, KYP, know
Yes,
your personnel.
yes.
Like, if you just know like what he's like as a player, like that's not.
Well, I
he's not
felt
about
like
that
you were.
life.
I felt like you were kind of like talking. You said to him a great question. You said, "Hey, for people that haven't watched you play."
Yeah.
Or don't know your game really, really well. And I thought you were talking directly to me.
Yeah, I was.
Hey, Chris, if you look in the live
not
YouTube
really.
chat, look at Ozzy Esther, who thinks that a smart TV ad is also a very smart idea.
Yeah, but
so I'm
Ozzy's,
just picking up on Ozzy.
Ozzy's been a little off